You're following a big anniversary year for the Folk Fest. What was your goal when you were putting this lineup together?
Oh, you know what? I think it's so incredibly different going into the 51st because we did so much looking back to the last 50 years, and I think what we're trying to do now is kind of set ourselves up for the next 50 years. And in particular, I really try to strive to pull a lot of acts from all over from all over the world to come to the festival, from all different other festivals that I partner with, to make it a unique lineup for us that is it's hard to guess. We have a lot of people that like to guess what the lineup's going to be like, but we like to bring people that have not been artists who haven't performed in Winnipeg or at the festival before, and we definitely accomplished that this year with particularly with our headliners for the festival.
Well, the guessing is over because the list is out. So let's dig a little bit more into that now, Chris. Who are some of the big names that you are excited to welcome this year?
Well, an act I've literally been trying to get for the last 15 years is of Monsters and Men, who hail from Reykjavik, Iceland. Big touring band. I kind of say to people that they're kind of like the Icelandic version of Mumford and Sons, in the sense that they're very folk based, but have a lot of indie roots as well. And it was actually really timely because it's the 150th anniversary of the Icelandic settlement in Manitoba. And I know that the artists in the band have family that live here in the province, live in Gimli in particular. So that was just kind of nice because it just perfectly aligned this year. And I've had so much trouble getting them before. So that was a big one. Of course, people are big Boy Genius fans in the office, outside the office. We've had Phoebe Bridgers at the festival before. We've had Julian Baker back in 2018. Well, we haven't had Lucy Dacus yet. And so people are very excited about Lucy because it's just, again, an artist who hasn't played the market before. She just did All Things Go last summer. It was a big touring festival that was predominantly women and LGBT artists. It sold out all through North America. Um, Father John Misty hasn't played Winnipeg in years and years. And I'm particularly a big fan. Another artist I've been trying to get for years. Stephen Wilson Jr. and Jesse Wells are two artists I saw when I went to Newport Folk last year who are amazing. Stephen Wilson Jr. Calls his music Death Cab for Country, which is kind of a nod to his indie roots, his country and Americana roots. Jesse Wells, of course, has been blowing up, going viral over his protest songs and criticism of the Trump administration, um, and is just like a wonderful artist. He did a song on the Colbert Show. He's just yeah, it's just perfect for a folk fest to channel that kind of that political songwriting, protest singer-songwriter kind of vibe that you expect to hear at a folk fest. And then Sylvan Esso is a band that I've been a fan of for years. They're actually Jesse and Sylvan Esso are doing fly-ins, so they're just actually playing our festival. They're coming all the way here. That also makes it special. I don't. I've been working with Aaron Goldstein, who was the band leader for the Neil Young 80th birthday celebration at Massey Hall last November, to recreate that at the festival this year. So that's going to be a big feature at the festival with tons of different artists sitting in doing some of Neil Young's classics just to celebrate his 80th year on the planet and his course his appropriate ties to Winnipeg. And then yeah, and I've been traveling to Colombia and all these places and seeing great music that I'm bringing back. So I'm doing a feature on Colombian South American music, mostly the kind of music the people enjoy, young people enjoy when I'm down in Colombia. And so just bringing some of those pieces of music that I'm experiencing when I'm traveling abroad, back to our audience. That's kind of what makes it kind of special and refreshing. And and vibrant.
Mhm.
And that kind of sets the discovery, keeps that alive.
As you talked about, you bring in all these international artists, but what about the local scene too? Because the big thing too about Folk Fest is celebrating the local artists. So who are some of the local artists who will
Yeah.
take
So,
part this year?
yeah. So we have Amos the Kid, who's fantastic. I just saw him at Festival de Voyageur. Jacob Brodowski, who's a fantastic singer-songwriter who often plays with Dom Adams, who played the festival last year. She's wonderful. On the kids side, we also have James Culleton's Super Fun Show, and it is super fun. Along with Mama Cutsworth Family Dance Party, of course, Kelly Bado, fantastic singer-songwriter from here. The Secret Beach, which is Micah Ehrenberg's other name. He's playing. So again, Fontaine is at the festival, and she'll be doing a special performance with some guests on on the main stage, kicking off the festival on Thursday. We always kick off with a Manitoba artist. So we have all that kind of. Oh, Tinge is also an indigenous alternative rock artist from here. So we really like to support of course, support local artists, and we've been doing that obviously through our Young Performers program, which is also celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. And that helps us to kind of create our farm team or create our next folkies of the future through that. So we're very interested in also kind of cultivating our own and supporting our own here in Manitoba, so that they can also stand shoulder to shoulder with all these great international touring artists.
And
So that's
you touched on it there, Chris. You talked about how there's something for people of all ages trying to build that future folk fest audience. So how do you balance discovery and nostalgia when it comes to choosing artists who will take part in the festival?
well, you know what I've learned? I've been doing this for 21 years, and my experience has been that, people just want to have that. People aren't greedy. Our audience isn't greedy at all. They're looking for those like meaningful touch points, those sounds that they associate with their experience of coming to the festival. And I think I try to check those boxes for people. And sometimes, like, man, one band that someone loves goes a long way, and then it gets them there. Whether they're a headliner or an emerging artist, it gets them there. And then they discover all this great music as they're just walking around the site, or they bump into friends who are on their way to see an artist. They say, "Come along, come check out this artist." So I think my biggest job is just getting people to come out to the festival and then to discover the music that they hadn't heard before. Um, and then the nostalgia part is sense of place, because the festival's been held pretty much at that site forever. It's like that sense of place gives people a lot of that feeling of nostalgia. The campground gives it that feeling of nostalgia. So I have a lot of help from the setting itself. Um, and then uh, and then the music people love. I mean, the reason why we do so well, I think, is because people just we have for lack of a better term, we have a strong brand that people trust, and that's why, I mean, we have our ticket sales are insane right now, and we haven't even announced the lineup, or just announced the lineup. So it's like we start selling tickets in December, and tickets are selling before we even announce who's coming, and that's a testament to the discovery of the festival, not just my work, but the work of people that came here before me, and to everyone that works here.
The cat is out of the bag. The lineup has been announced. A lot of excited folks. Thank you so much for joining us today here on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Marjorie. Have a good one.